A man has fallen into the river in Lego City. Hey!
So it's pretty hard for a man to fall into a river in this Lego City, but I'm going to change that by adding a river. And today we're going to show you guys the new and improved Lego City known as Brickmanton. So when I started filming this video, I thought we were going to capture all the changes happening to Brickmanton in a time lapse, but unfortunately there was just way too many and it would have been way too long and sort of boring to watch. But I did capture some of the major changes. The first thing I did was actually moved the Ninjago buildings out from their original positioning because they do have a new home now in Brickmanton. Then I had to slide the whole ocean over 2 base plates or 20 inches, and that includes all of the modular buildings and Pop Culture Street as well. So I had to do a lot of shifting to accommodate this river here that's going to be flowing through the center of Brickmanton. Brickmanton never had a river prior to this. I just couldn't really make it happen for some reason. But I did give it some thought over the weekend, and I decided to move forward with creating a river, and it actually is going to help highlight some of the Ninjago buildings and also separate the downtown core or all the modular buildings, which is pretty cool. But that's a small amount of it here on the time lapse. There's a lot more technical detail that we're going to go over right now in this Lego City update, adding a river. So of course we're going to start this Lego City update right here. We have a man who's fallen into the river of the Lego City. Now, right in beside that man there, you can see the Temple of Air Jitsu, which is the first Ninjago building here in the river. Now, Ninjago sort of have a water base, just like the Ninjago City and Ninjago City docks, which are just absolutely magnificent, beautiful sets. I love these sets here. And I've decided to place those in the river as well, of course, because they look fantastic and they have a sort of a water background that really go well with rivers and water. So you can see Ninjago City, the Ninjago City docks, and also the Temple of Air Jitsu sitting in the river here. Just a beautiful, beautiful sets that look really good in a water background. Of course, they have the little docks at the back here. And what I really like about them is the trans blue elements that they use on the bottom for the water effect. That's something I have to improve on here. Of course, this is just the early start of this river here. I worked on it for about 6 hours so far, worked on it all day today, and I think there's a lot of room for growth as we move into the future as well. But I want to get a lot more of those trans blue elements just so we can improve the look of our water. Now, some other changes that I've done, or some additions, I guess, to the river, or some things to accompany it, would be these little docking stations right here. So this will be how you access Ninjago City or the Temple of Air Jitsu, is you just get picked up there and then you paddle over to wherever you'd like to go. Or you could also rent canoes or kayaks. Still have to make a little rental booth. Some ideas that I have floating around. And then there's another little dock right over here as well. Now you can see the train going around, and you can see how the water just sort of flows right through the middle of downtown here. I actually did raise up the road and the train track, 2 studs each, so the water can flow underneath the train track or underneath the road. Sort of how I done that there. I just put 1 road plate in the middle. Then I took 4 16 by 16 dark bluish gray base plates to create a ramp on either side, and just sort of tried to blend it in using some tiles and some plate pieces. And then I continued those white lines both in the center and on either side of the road plate. So that's how I've integrated here into the Lego City. Now, in regards to the depth of it, no, it is not lower than the roads. In order to do that, I'd have to work out a whole new drop table system here. And I've spent, I think 14 months working on this layout, and I really did not want to change it 100% to get it the best. I've sort of come up with sort of the best of both worlds, maybe not as good as it could be, but I'm happy with it for now. I've given it an illusion that it is lower than the road and the Palace Cinema building there. You can see that I've framed it using some dark bluish gray bricks, like 2x4s and 2x6s and stuff like that. And it really sort of gives the idea that this is sort of a man-made river. That's sort of what I want it to look like. This is a man-made river that was it was flowing, and then the citizens of Brickmanton sort of forged it around it, or they sort of fabricated the way that it flows here so that it best accommodates their train and their roads, and also their Ninjago buildings. So I've sort of constructed a man-made river here in the Lego City. Now, the positioning of it is pretty nice, I think. That's what I was sort of shooting for, is the overall positioning. I wanted it to break up the downtown core, and I wanted it to integrate the Ninjago buildings with the downtown core. So right here you can see our first set of modular buildings. Some modular buildings I did have to move. You see Town Hall right there, and also Assembly Square, whereas that used to be the Triple Pet Shop and the condominiums, which have actually moved now across the river. And I really like how the Ninjago buildings in the river break up the downtown core, because now we get to see more awesome modular buildings in more places. So this block sort of remains the same. Actually, both blocks sort of remain the same. Just the modular buildings in the back lineup are changed. You can see I put my mock police station right there, and also the Triple Pet Shop, and the sort of condominiums that accommodate, or townhouses, I guess, that accommodate that Triple Pet Shop. So I've moved those right over there. Now, I had to do some pretty serious changes. Like I said, it took me about 6 hours today in order to fit this river in here, and this is sort of my first go at it, and I'm sure there'll be a lot more details that we'll be adding to it in the future. But how I was able to do it is I actually pretty much did a water transfer, is what I'll call it, because the Ninjago buildings used to be over here on the far side, sort of almost touching this shelf. So, and there's actually two Ninjago buildings sitting right there, and that's something else I have to try and work into the spots over there, or I keep it over here as like a little fishing village beside the old fishing store. But either way, the Ninjago buildings used to be sitting right here. This area is still a little bit rough, gotta tidy it up a bit, but I moved those over here. So I essentially transferred a bunch of water just right over here. The water over here is 7 base plates by 2 base plates. And what I did is I actually removed 7 base plates by 2 base plates. No, sorry, 4 base plates by 2 base plates over here of water. And you can see this is my drop table right here that has the ocean. And I've added some sheets of plywood there to make up for that drop. And that used to actually all be water. And I had to slide everything over so that it fit there. So I got rid of a row of residential buildings there. You'll see there's no residential buildings in here right now. I still have to work out where I'm going to put those. I slid over the pop culture and the mini modular buildings, that space, so 2 base plates, 20 inches. Then I slid over this whole section here, 2 base plates, 20 inches. And then I started placing some of the water, and then I put the Ninjago buildings in, and then I framed it. And after that, I sort of tinkered with the way that I got the train track and the roads going. Now, ultimately, this should be on its own drop table. It should be like the ocean. It should be on a drop table so it's lower. I just can't justify changing it all right now, just because I've spent so much time and effort trying to get this Lego City as good looking as it is. Now, why don't I add a drop table over here? I'm going to show you exactly why I don't add a drop table over here. Underneath this table, you'll see a pool table. So, yeah, I can't really drop it. Otherwise, I would just drop this table and then build a platform, but I can't drop it because there's a pool table underneath there. So, it's not that I'm lazy, it's that there's this massive pool table underneath here, and it really limits what I can do with my table heights, right? Because I don't want it resting on the pool table. I still want that for maybe a future place or something like that. So that's why I've decided just to decrease the size of the ocean and move Ninjago City and the river over here, which once again is a nice man-made river, and we'll see a lot more improvements in the near future. Now, a couple other things that I did here in the Lego City is I recently placed the treehouse right over here. And what's interesting about the treehouse is it too has a little river, a little creek. I'm going to call that a creek, not a river. But I have to somehow figure out what I'm going to do with the treehouse. But as I was saying in my treehouse review video, I think the Vestas wind turbine would look really good there. So that's my update for today. Lego City update, creating a river for the Lego City. So pretty fantastic. Let me know what you guys think of these changes by commenting below. I personally think it looks a lot better, and I'm really happy to see these Ninjago buildings out getting some sunlight here right in the thick of the downtown core, which is nice. Let me know if you have any suggestions by commenting below. Have yourselves a great day. Stay tuned for some more great stuff coming out here on my YouTube channel. Bye for now, and thanks for watching. I wanted to give a special shout out to all the people who supported me using Super Chat and Super Stickers during my live streams. Thank you so much, it's highly appreciated, and make sure you stay tuned for more live streams as I'll be building all of my LEGO sets using the live stream function here on YouTube. Thanks a lot, stay tuned, and we'll see you again. Bye for now.